Welcome to another episode of the Maven Show.
Hey.
For Aaron and Josh and Jeremy. So happy that you're here joining us as we celebrate our independence. We're recording this a day after July 4th, but that's okay.
Merica. Lots of explosions.
Merica. Blowing up fireworks. Eating a bunch of stuff. Maybe going swimming.
Mosquito repellent.
A
lot of sunscreen.
Getting sunburned.
Man, the amount of fried food at Yukon Park yesterday, like at Chisholm Trail there, it was crazy, man. I definitely underestimated how big those funnel cakes were when we got 2 of them for our family.
Funnel cakes, so good.
And those corn dogs, man, they were big.
What was your favorite?
The cinnamon roll funnel cake was terrific.
Yeah, that's got to be great.
Yeah, we got a cinnamon roll Oreo and a plain. So.
Josh or Jeremy, do you have an opinion on a favorite fried food?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Crispitos, but you don't really see those at those events, though. That's just like showing houses across the great state of Oklahoma. You need a snack, you stop it into Domino's or you eat a Crispito or some fried mushrooms.
Okay.
Now, like fair food, it's probably the Oreo.
The deep fried Oreo?
The deep fried Oreo.
Deep fried Oreo.
Yeah.
I think at the fair in Texas, it was for the OU Texas game. There's fried butter. There's deep fried butter.
I mean, what does that taste like?
Pretty much what you think it would taste like.
Is it still oily and whatever on the inside too? So it's like you.
It's more creamy. It's more creamy than it's just oily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever tasted a triple bypass?
No, but like a creamy butter, like kind of what you dip a lobster tail in or something like that, right? Like that kind of creamy.
Yeah, it's smooth. It was really good. Deep fried Oreo was really good. Had one of those for sure. So 4th of July.
Yep.
My 4th of July included my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Birthday celebrations.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Aaron and Merica.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're really glad you're here, Aaron.
That's nice. That was really kind.
Your lights are backwards, by the way. You need to see those lights there. I need to flash. Oh, sorry. That may have been a little intrusive, what I just did there. But.
Oh. Did y'all know that
Did I
Aaron's
cross the
only
line?
28 years old?
I don't want to embarrass myself. No, thank you. What'd you ask?
Oh, you're only 28 years old.
I'm slightly older than that.
How's the Sweet 16 feel, baby?
What were you going to say?
Oh, just plus, a few.
Plus a few, for sure. But we were able to celebrate my birthday. The girls loved that. We have a parade in our neighborhood as part of the 4th of July festivities. They loved that. I had some gifts here.
Ooh. Gifts that you received?
Josh, I'll go ahead and take the hat off for a moment.
I guess.
I've got a couple of great art pieces here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Got to get the hat back on.
Right.
If you're going to skin that smoke wagon. Don't know the reference?
I don't know
Tombstone?
the reference.
Skim that smoke wagon?
Yeah, you don't know the reference to Tombstone?
I've only seen Tombstone one time.
I didn't.
And the only line I know
I
is,
missed it.
I'll be your huckleberry.
Well, it's a great one, too. Emma made this.
That's awesome.
Rainbow.
The stars up above.
Is that Lizzie or is that a poodle?
This is Nilla.
Nilla Ice?
This is Nilla. Nilla's a wiener dog.
Okay.
Tommy and Abria have a dog named Nilla here by the rainbow. I thought that was spectacular.
That's awesome.
And she did this little star effect with a pencil, so she could draw those shapes in.
Yep. Did she make that rainbow after we saw the rainbow here the other night? Or was that?
Before.
Oh, it was before?
Before,
Oh,
yeah.
Basically
I believe before.
predicting.
So this that was great. Emma made that. She also made for me, this is a seal.
Okay.
This is a seal
That's
she
a really
made.
good seal.
Yep.
Right? So These are the flippers.
Flippers. Mm-hmm. His
Back
head up there.
Here, got a little, whatever these little appendages are.
Some kind of
What do you call these appendages on a seal? And this is the face.
flappers, flippers, and flappers.
And this is the face of the seal.
I thought it was technically a flopper, but
And then, so she did great with that. And then,
great.
of course, last but certainly not least, some carrots. Maybe some carrots.
Nice. I love the media use on that, like the cardboard cutout, and then the drawing on it. It's like that's you got some dimensionality.
Yeah,
Depth
that's
to
right.
it. Yep.
Yeah, for dramatic effect, you have to add the dimensionality. Carrots. So,
You have to
and,
draw it, and then you also have to cut it.
and then shoes.
Oh yeah, dude.
Just right now, shoes.
what's the technical term? Are you a sneaker file? Is that what's the term for some a sneakerhead?
Yes.
Sneakerhead.
Okay.
Aaron's a sneakerhead.
Sneaker head.
So they did a great job of gifts,
That's awesome.
and we had a great time celebrating my birthday
Yep.
and the independence of our nation yesterday.
You also didn't you make something? Didn't you get to make something for your birthday? You made art for your birthday.
We
right?
made tie-dye shirts.
Aha.
We made tie-dye shirts, and they turned out great.
They
Nice.
did.
So we made them as a family. It finished at about 3:30 in the morning.
I was going to say how was the making of the process?
I was not aware. Maybe I did tie-dye shirts when I was younger as a kid, but I do not remember that process where it's like you had to run them through the dryer to dry set them, the dye, so it doesn't bleed all over the place. They turned out great, though. So
Yeah.
They looked really good.
wear those. That was
That's a
fun.
lot.
They
of
were red,
time,
white, and
but-
blue too.
They are.
Oh yeah.
They are definitely red, white, and blue. So
Yep.
we made those.
Great.
What all did you do? 4th of July, we were able to go over to
The Devers house.
Deaver's house.
In Elgin
Did a bunch of fireworks,
with a lot of kids.
like a
pretty
potluck
awesome.
dinner thing. Yeah. Your kids looked like they were having a blast.
Oh, they had a blast. Everybody got burned at least once.
Yes.
You know, that's a good learning experience.
I found that I need to give better instruction on some of the fireworks. There was like those punks that you hold, and I told the girls you just kind of like lightly blow on them. You can blow on them, and the flame will kind of kick up and it'll be a little bit hotter. And but several times I got too close to one of my girls, to her face, and so she had burned her lip. So I was like, whew. So
That does not feel good.
I know.
She was
So
going all, what is that, Isaiah? Just hot coals to the lips,
Yep.
you know?
There
Just
you go.
it didn't phase her at the time, but the day after, it's kind of like, I don't know if I should have. So, but they had a blast. They enjoyed doing that.
Yep.
And it was relatively safe.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really fun. So,
Low risk, high fun.
and you guys went.
Yep.
What'd you guys end up doing?
Yeah, we were out in Yukon at the Chisholm Trail Park.
The old boot-shaped.
Boot Hill. Have you seen Boot Hill, Aaron?
No.
Tall,
No.
super tall hill in Yukon, and that thing was covered top to bottom with people. There were probably 10,000 or more people there. I don't know what the actual number was, but
Wow.
Did you
there's
know?
like rivers of people leaving.
Have you ever looked at the GPS of that park? It's shaped like a boot. If you look at it, it's a boot-shaped park.
Okay, so the boot-shaped park with the big
boot-
hill in the
called
middle.
Boot Hill,
I
yeah.
never understood that because the hill does not look like a boot; it just looks like a really tall hill. Like it's kind of
So,
But
but it
that's
was,
good.
but they have a pretty good fireworks display, I
yeah.
guess.
So the OKC Philharmonic actually was live performing there, and they do every
Oh,
year.
that's cool.
Yeah. So it's a really awesome show, so we had a bunch of fair food and all that kind of stuff, and then they had a big fireworks display. Started about 10 o'clock and went for about half an hour, I think. So it was a good show. Lots of big explosions. I was worried about. So we've got our babies are about a year and a half old. And I
How did
was
they
worried-
like it?
Yeah, I thought they were going to kind of freak out, but Noelle was so excited that she couldn't stop jumping the whole time. Like, she was just, like, so happy that she, like, really wanted to jump for, like, 20 minutes. You're like, okay. So, yep.
Speaking of family updates, so your girls they're older now.
Yes.
They're older now. We have an additional one who's been delivered.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Little baby Lila Joy.
What, 2 weeks ago?
Lila Joy,
and a half?
yes. Yeah, so
Man.
she was June 17th. It's her birthday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, most people would still be on paternity leave right now. But look at you. Look at you.
well, fortunately, so Mackenzie's recovered really well. She really has.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
this has been a blessing. Her recovery so far, it's just been the best recovery she's had post delivery for any of the kids.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she's doing really well. Lila's doing well. She's adorable. She's certainly keeping us up. But she's doing really well. Now we went ahead and got a van.
Yep.
We got the big bus,
Living the van life.
the Ford Transit,
Dude,
that 15-passenger vehicle.
that's attractive.
Well, we figured
It
we
does
might
look sharp.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. The girls love it, and we figured we might as well, if we're going to have anybody else who rides in the vehicle with us, or if she's going to be going to the store or anything, it's like we might as well get something that's like over the top with space, because we hope to have more children.
Right.
We hope to have more children. If
That's
we
what I
can.
say. That's not the only or.
Yeah.
Or, as soon as you have another baby, right? Next year.
Yeah. So it's kind of quick, but yeah, we hope to have more children, and who knows? Maybe even someday adopt. But we'll see.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Nice.
But the kids love the vehicle. They think it's a blast.
Yeah. Lila is so peaceful and
She loves being held.
super cute.
You might even say she hates not being held.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah.
She kind of has to be held somehow. So she really does. She'll immediately calm down as soon as she's actually held by somebody. So
Do the older girls like to hold her?
they do. Yes, they
Does
do.
she like being held by them?
She does.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm telling you, she really loves, just as long as somebody's holding her, she's
Happy.
perfectly content, it
Nice.
seems. So
Nice. That's awesome.
last time, before we did a podcast, or the last time we did a podcast,
We had an inside baby at the time.
yes, Olive was delivered since then.
Yes.
So
yeah, we nobody on Facebook knows this because we've never posted a picture of her. But yeah,
Ooh.
This will be the first time she's announced to the public
Wow.
that Olive
Breaking news.
exists. Yeah, breaking news.
But she's
maybe
doing
we'll
really
post on Facebook before then, just so it's not so jolting and surprising to you all out there, But yeah,
But yes,
yeah,
new
she's
baby.
done really good. She's a happy baby. Evangeline's really got to help and step in and hold her. She loves holding Olive, and been awesome having a 7-year-old. And when you have an infant, she just loves taking care of her. So
Yep.
being like a little mom,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah.
That's kind of, that's what we've seen even with several other girls with the younger ones now. Olive seems like she smiles all the time.
oh yeah, she's pretty happy baby. Except she's been a good sleeper too. She has been. She's been
Good.
generally a good baby all around. Not too fussy. Nothing unusual. Eats our best eater. Like she is ahead of the curve on weight gaining. Takes after me in that, and yeah, she's already on her way to. I think our other kids, none of them weighed 20 pounds by the time they were a year, and she's already like 18 pounds at 6
wow.
months. So
Okay, she's doing well.
She's,
She's a healthy eater.
yes, yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, I'm glad she's doing really well, and I think Danielle's doing really well as well.
Oh
so.
yeah, yeah. Danielle's doing great too. Just not sleeping. The way it goes with the
Babies.
babies. Yeah.
And then updates for your kiddos. Now they're getting
Yeah.
into everything, including mopping toilets.
Mopping
what were they
toilets, dude. Yeah. So
I haven't heard this
the
story.
twins
doing? Did you
just
not see the picture?
find a way.
No, I didn't.
To
You had a picture. Yeah. I'll let
No,
you tell
we'll,
this.
we'll throw it on the screen here. But yeah, they find a way to work together. And Jada she has this awareness. Right, Noelle's very much in the moment and excited and gets ideas in the moment. Jada is planning things constantly, and so if the bathroom door is ever open, she makes a beeline for it as soon as it gets left alone, by somebody else.
Yes.
And so we have this photo where Casey walked in and found Jada had a mop in the toilet. And Noelle was there helping her, getting the toilet water out.
Yeah, right.
And she was looking back with this face. It's like, I've got it under control, Mom. I don't need you.
They grew up so fast,
I know. Where did this teenager come from? So yeah,
I definitely mopped a lot of toilets as a teenager.
so pretty cute, pretty cute. They're doing.
So they're
great.
already
running
doing-
around everywhere.
They're already doing chores.
Yeah,
like
no,
that,
they-
taking
well-
the toilet water and mopping the bathroom with it.
Yeah, right. Whether we like it or not. No, they're starting to sweep around the kitchen and do things like unloading the dishwasher and
Oh my goodness!
handing you all the different things, and you better catch them before they break them, kind of thing. But
Or coming over to my house and taking a bite out of a single apple and doing that half a dozen times.
That was
Are you
Noelle.
sure that wasn't Sophie?
That was Noelle. That was Noelle. No, well, I mean, she also had to make sure that she got
funny.
one for Jada and then for Mom.
Correct.
Got apples
Yeah.
for everybody. And then it's like, well, you're going to eat that? Well, I'll go ahead and take a bite out of it for you. Like, okay.
It was pretty funny.
I was going to say apples or bites. Just bite for dad, bite for mom.
Yep.
So we definitely owe the Hoffmans a bag of apples or so. But yeah.
I think that's technically a
They're doing
bushel.
well. A bushel, that's right. Pax broke his hand. So fell off a playground equipment thing and fell on it and
yeah, man.
broke two bones, like two metacarpals on the back of his hand. right
Active
there.
boy. Active dude.
boy.
They're going to break stuff.
Yeah, budget at least one ER trip a year on that kid. I mean, at least. No, but actually it was a pretty clean break. Didn't have to get set or anything. And, the funniest thing, though, was I don't even think I've told you this. When we went to the doctor's office and they asked him what happened,
Yeah.
he's like, I don't remember. I guess he went. yeah. I guess he went
Like
to
he didn't.
church.
He didn't realize what he was at the office for. Even.
Well, I think what
It
happened.
was like-
I think what happened. That's what he said. I think what he. I mean, he knew his hand was broken, but when they would ask him the story, he would say, "I don't remember." And so I think what happened was he went to church on Sunday, told like 30 people the story, and got tired of telling the story, and so he just decided he could say, "I don't remember," and started saying that to all the doctors. So, anyway,
I thought that was something you didn't learn until you were like, I don't know, 18, 19,
yeah, right,
older, maybe.
past innocence, beyond the age of accountability. Right?
Yeah,
Something
where he
like that.
said something about. I just don't remember.
I don't remember what happened. I
You're
don't know.
You're tired
were
of any very nostalgic 4th of July stories that you guys have from growing up?
I had some adventures.
Let's hear.
Well, I had a nerdy bunch of friends, and so we were always just, we didn't get into substance abuse, for ourselves biologically, but we did decide to. We were out in Oil City at my friend Joseph Snow's house.
Oh, Oil City.
Oil City. If
You know what they
where
say.
Oil City, Oklahoma is.
You know what they say about Oil City?
It doesn't
I don't
exist
know.
anymore. That's what they say.
It's a ghost.
But it's out in the middle of nowhere, and we took a bunch of fireworks, like the mortars the big ones you shoot up, and we broke them, and then we poured them into the tube that you shoot it out of.
Yes.
And then we stuck some sparklers into the top of it, duct taped it all up, and we went out and into the woods and set it up. Took a couple extra steps back, Joe Dirt style.
Just to be safe.
And when we lit that thing off, it had a concussive wave. It was like you could see the air coming off of it. And needless to say, we caught a field on fire. We had to drive around putting out the fire. There's if you've ever seen that video of the guy shooting. Like he shoots a refrigerator full of tannerite, and the garage door the refrigerator door comes flying off and hits a tree right by him. It was like that experience. It was pretty terrifying.
Wow.
But
nobody actually got hurt.
No. Well, I did get a letter that said, "I know what you did last summer," and I can't really talk about it. But
well,
nobody got hurt that anybody knows about. So
okay. Well, you put out the fire, so that's good.
yeah,
That's responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did the responsible thing.
Yeah.
Instead of burning down a county, that was good.
That's pretty good. Ours were more of just like the taking a bunch of Roman candles and shooting them at a lunch lady's house. About 18 of us in the back of my friend's truck. So no one was harmed.
I've
you
heard
start
the
any
blurred
fires?
version of this, but I need some detail.
Didn't start.
Detail.
Believe it or not, that's the detail. That was it. That's the extent of that story.
Just a bunch of Roman
Not
candles.
a whole lot of brain cells actively firing in that story. It was just as simple as it sounds. Hey, might as well do this. We've played enough Halo for tonight. Let's hop in the truck. And sure enough, that was the idea we came
What
up
did
with.
the lunch lady ever do to you?
Oh, everything.
Did she skimp on the fries?
She was more of like a you can't have 2 chocolate milks.
Oh,
That sort of.
Yep.
Oh yeah. No.
Man,
If ever there was a reason.
are you monitoring my sugar intake? Like, what's wrong with you? You're not my mom.
Yeah, we didn't have any lunch ladies like that at Long Grove. We had the best lunch ladies. We had really friendly people.
She didn't deserve that. No matter what you said, she didn't deserve that. And fortunately, no fires were started.
Mm-hmm.
It was just,
So you're saying there were 16 to 18 of you, and you each had a Roman candle.
Yes.
Thunk, thunk,
Yeah.
thunk, thunk.
Yep.
Just blasted.
Yep. Yep. Probably like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Like that kind of,
That sort of thing. Yeah, it was
man.
it was wild. But that was a memory that definitely sticks out around 4th of July.
Like, it's
for
hard
sure
to
growing
forget
up.
that.
Yeah, that one's hard to forget.
It's hard to forget that.
That's the hailstorm that roof never knew it was going to get.
Yeah. Seemed very durable. So something to be grateful for.
Don't make shingles like they used to.
Yes.
That's right. That's right.
Did you have some sort of story that you wanted to mention about
So I do have to
submarines
say,
or what?
I do have to say.
I thought you had mentioned something about. Okay.
Yes. So this is the wild story.
This is like your jam or something.
Yeah. Oh well, I thought this was fascinating.
Okay.
So the Titanic. Do you know who we should thank for knowing that where the Titanic is today?
Like who discovered it?
Not who discovered it. I'm going to tell you about who discovered it, but who should we thank for discovering it?
No.
Russia.
Ooh.
Why?
The reason why we know where the Titanic is because of a guy named Bill Ballard. Bill Ballard discovered the Titanic in 1985.
Okay.
But the reason he found it was because the United States during 1963 and 1968 lost 2 nuclear submarines in the Atlantic.
Okay.
And they were afraid that Russia was going to find these submarines and take the nuclear technology from it, take the nuclear assets that were on these submarines and steal them. And so in the height of the Cold War in 1985, under the cover of searching for the Titanic, they send Bill Ballard, who's supposedly looking for the Titanic, to find the SS Scorpion and the SS Thresher, which are these nuclear submarines that were lost.
Okay.
And in the process, he was able to take the money he was getting paid by the government to find these submarines and worked on his pet project, which he'd been working on for 13 years, to find the Titanic. And he finally found it while he was looking for these nuclear submarines.
Wow. So it wasn't like accidentally while he was looking for it. It was just because of how lucrative those other jobs were.
Well, and he was a good ocean searcher person. Like that was what he was good at. And so they hired him to find the submarines. But in the process of finding the submarines, he finds the Titanic.
Wow.
And now today we know where the Titanic is.
Wow.
And before nobody knew where. Well, they knew approximately where it was. But
great job, Russia.
Go Russia. Sorry.
That's not
but yeah. So
wow, that's fascinating.
yeah, the whole thing.
That's crazy. Yeah.
He literally says if it hadn't been for that, he wouldn't have found the Titanic.
He had been trying to find it for 13 years prior to that.
Yeah.
See, that's not even that long ago. 1985 wasn't even that long ago, really.
I guess for whatever reason in my head, I didn't even realize that we knew where it was. Like, as crazy as that sounds, but this is how little I had, seen James Cameron's while I was researching. I literally thought it was, no, we know kind of what happened, but we, I don't know. Not a big Titanic buff, but.
Like, it was only discovered in 85. That's
yeah.
Crazy deep waters.
Yeah, that's not even terribly, that's not even terribly long ago. Well, we have had some wonderful families that we've worked with over the last, this has now been probably 6 months since we shot an episode of this thing.
Yep.
We've had some wonderful families who've been able to help out. There were some reviews, 5-star reviews that we've received recently. I know, Jeremy, you had one from Ryan Waters that you wanted to share.
Yep.
Do you care if I read it real quick?
Ahead.
So this is what he wrote. This is a 5-star review he'd left. He said, we recently bought a home with Jeremy from Maven. We couldn't be happier with the process. He had us set up with a great search and showed us a range of homes that fit our needs. We ended up finding the perfect house on the first day of looking with him.
Ooh.
Wasn't a long, drawn-out process with
wasn't.
regard to searching and looking at 20 houses and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
The first day, they were able to confidently find, based
they were
upon
looking
searching with you, exactly what they wanted. He was extremely supportive throughout the entire process, and we would highly recommend. It's a great review. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yep.
Yep. It was
Anything
great.
you wanted to share with regard to that one? I know we're going to talk about another deal
Yeah.
here in a bit, but
No, it was a great experience with them, and it's great working with them. They were a referral from Jeff Huber.
Oh, yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
Ryan's fiance Bree is he bought the house with Bree, and great experience. Looked at some older homes, and then we went and looked at some Tabor homes, and they loved the Tabor homes. It's
Nice.
like we can have
Awesome.
everything
Yep.
we want for brand new,
Proudly overbuilt.
proudly overbuilt,
There you
and
go.
it was like the
Services.
same price, but it wasn't like they maybe spent 10 more to get a brand new house,
Yeah.
and they loved it. Also, about a month afterwards, I went over their place and got to eat some ice cream from their Ninja
Oh, yeah.
ice cream maker. Had some delicious ice cream. It's great. Took
Man.
them some Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's hard to argue with.
Hey.
Yeah. What kind of ice cream?
They made it was like a it was like their own home, like this. Have you seen these Ninja ice cream makers? Ninja
no.
makes an ice cream maker, and it was like it had they used protein, like that core power protein that used to this Vital Farms. It was delicious.
so it was really good, huh?
Okay. Nice.
And in my
Win.
mind, it was healthy.
Win-win. They get a house, you get ice cream.
That's
Nobody loses.
Yeah, I'll take ice cream from anybody.
Sure.
Any of my
No,
past
that's
clients
right.
want to give me ice cream.
That's right. It's
I'll
like
eat your ice cream,
I know we've advertised s'mores for doors, but if you just want to have us over for ice cream, that's fine too.
and I'll bring you Chick-fil-A.
That's great.
There was one that Brandon left for you,
Yep.
Josh. He says, Josh was extremely patient and helpful throughout the entire process. He ensured that we were well informed and helped us to navigate the housing market around both of our busy schedules. We are glad to have been fortunate enough to have an agent like him. 1,000% would recommend him to all of our friends, family, and acquaintances. It's a great review.
Oh, yeah.
That is really good.
And they were able to
That was-
close not too long ago. That was maybe
Yeah.
about a week ago or
Yeah,
so. I
just
can't
a couple
remember.
weeks, I think. Yeah,
Yep.
it's funny because Brandon and Sheila were terrific. They, I think they thought they were like a bunch of trouble because they just had a hard time making a decision a little bit. We're talking about like we saw through houses 3 times, and they kind of waffled back and forth on a couple different houses. Not like, hey, we take 7 weeks and can't after the 17th showing tour, it's like we're still not getting anywhere. It's like no, very normal, very much like that. Everybody does that. So they were really, really thoughtful, caring people that I really loved working with, and it was kind of a funny deal because the house that we were going to buy for them, we made an offer. They rejected our offer, and then like a week later, we came back to it, and we ended up getting it for cheaper and with an agent bonus. Where like all of us win because they were like, "Oh, we shouldn't have rejected that offer."
Oh man. Well,
So,
okay. Yeah, that's so thrilled for him. He was able to get a place that they love. That's great. Isaac, he left a review for me.
yep.
So him and his family, they bought a place in Noble on about 6 acres. It's kind of like a farm. I mean, even the house itself almost kind of has like a barn look on it. But it was awesome. It was perfect for them and all of their goats.
Oh yes.
So,
Yes. Those type of people.
Yes, so they awesome. I was so thrilled to help them. He says Aaron was a fantastic agent. He was super attentive to all of our needs and communication. He was essential in our home buying process. So Isaac, congratulations!
That's awesome.
Thrilled for you and your family. Loved helping you all. So just wanted to give those shout outs for those 5-star
Yeah.
reviews. A couple transactions that we wanted to review real quick.
Yep.
Josh, this was you wanted to say something about the Bridingers, the
Yeah,
list buy,
yeah,
the
I think-
contingency, and that whole situation to help navigate that.
So that one, I thought that was a fun one to bring up. So Daniel and Corinne Breidinger purchased a house. Had to sell their house in order to buy a different one, but they'd been looking for about a year with me off and on. And we found this house was on the market. It was on a lake and had 10 acres, but they were able to add another 10 acres to it. So like this big, like 20 acres with the lake, like pretty new house, just gorgeous view and everything.
Oh yeah,
And as soon as, they really looked at that and we saw it and everything, it was like, we have to get this house. I mean, she fell in love with it to the point where she was writing songs about this house. So like about how she's gonna get a cow and all kinds of stuff like that. Corinne was loving it, and Daniel was like, "Don't help me not break her heart." Basically. Like,
Did you see the lyrics to this? You're gonna have to get the lyrics and share those with us.
Sing them a couple times. Yeah,
you're gonna have the lyrics and share those with us.
Put it on the lake.
Cow. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway,
that's awesome.
So, but they it was such a challenge because it was the house. So we had to have everything lined up with this house before we sold their house, which is kind of flips it backwards from what like normally that process would be. So they we even had to do like negotiate to where we could do roof and structural inspections and like things like that to check some things that you could kind of tell, hey, there's questions on this before we put their house on the market. And so had this whole plan put together and, hey, this will work out. And then we make the offer. Right after that, they get another offer. And so now we're competing in multiple offers, and like we can't unlink the transactions. So they just put it on the line in terms of like, pumped up their number and like, made it happen, like tried to compete. Yeah. And we won. Like they took our contingency offer where we had to do these inspections before listing, even though they had another offer on the table.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
that's a good offer.
So yeah, no, they competed terrifically to make that happen, and they had to. But but the other piece was like, there was this deal where, because they were trying to buy both of the lots together, we had to get the county. The lender's rules were it has to be under one tax assessor's account. So not only do you have to file the deed to join them together as one property, which the seller was super cooperative as a developer, super cooperative with making that happen. But you had to get the county to process it and actually give it its own tax assessor number, which includes all kinds of things. The big MVP of this transaction was Lance down at the Grady County Courthouse, who basically who is the mapper. He had to draw the map of the new property, and if he hadn't done that in time, we wouldn't have been able to close on this house. Wow. But it's like piece after piece after piece, like trying to get that into the right hands and stuff. So First American, Madison over at First American was terrific with just really babysitting that every step of the way and making sure that got taken care of. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, it was just a lot of those kind of logistics where you're holding your breath till the very end because of how many pieces, and this is the only way it works, So
that's awesome. Yep. So you're able to pull that off.
Threading the needle. Yep.
They got the additional acreage along with the house.
They're so happy. Yeah, like I keep seeing pictures of these bass that they're pulling out of the pond because it's already stocked and everything.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then there was another family that you wanted to. You wanted to bring up and discuss.
I thought it was even helpful. So the Lorenzes, I mentioned them last time because I met them on Facebook, and we got them under contract on a place and all that. They're a terrific family. They understand kind of how real estate markets can go. Like they were around in the 80s whenever they saw. He was in lending, actually, car finance. Oh, okay. When he saw rates climbing and shooting through the roof up to like 17%. So when I mentioned that, and because they were in Arkansas, they didn't see the price crash or something like that we had in Oklahoma in the 80s with the oil crash that we had in the 80s. Yep. And so he was like, oh, yeah, no, if we're in that kind of market, like it's going to be crazy, right? Price is going to go up, rates are going to go up, and it's going to soar. And so they just had a lot of perspective. But with that transaction, even though the market has slowed down, like as far as the rate of increase of home price, when there's a good house, so their house hit the market and we had multiple offers, and the winning bid, like they wouldn't have won. We came back to them and they wouldn't have won because they're financing and all that kind of stuff if they hadn't guaranteed the appraisal gap. And so just heads up, like if you want to compete on a high demand property, like a lot of the ones that we help people find, if you want to compete on a high demand property, because that Pandora's box has already been opened with 2020 in our market, where now people know appraisal gap is a thing you can offer. You pretty much have to if you want to know that you're going to win it, because people know that that's a thing that you can bring to the table and other people are going to.
That was a thing that was occurring. We saw that
all
guys,
the time.
if it was almost every house.
Yeah,
It
no,
got
that's
to
right.
where it was almost every offer that we were trying to compete with. It was an appraisal gap coverage amount that we
Yep.
had already discussed
Yep.
with clients.
Yep.
But this is, we're talking about like, this is it's the unique, it's like if it's an updated home or it's just like, it's something that rarely comes up. It's at a price point that's a little bit lower than you might typically find it, or it has like additional features that may not come. It's got a shop. It's maybe got
a pool.
half an acre or more. Maybe it's got a pool and it's at a price point. If it's a house that's like, it's specifically unique
Yep.
and it's pretty rare, it's my understanding that you're still going to find what you're describing. That is appraisal gap coverage amount. Now, we're not talking about probably like these $20,000 figures and like these much higher numbers that we were experiencing previously. But still, we're talking about an amount.
Yeah,
Where
so it's not nearly the same number of houses. And this one in particular was, Wendy had staged it. Like there was a couple photos that looked like it was in a magazine.
It was a gorgeous house. It was a gorgeous looking house.
Yeah, what they'd done with that. And so for the right houses, though, just heads up, that's still a piece that people remember and is on the table when you're going to negotiate on these high demand properties. But that's not like most properties, you don't have to do that anymore. So thankfully, which is why people can sell their house and buy houses now.
And that's why people
weren't a thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, people just need to keep that in mind. It's just like if you're trying to compete, it's on the table that you may just have to do that. You may have to provide some sort of appraisal gap coverage, or it's not going to be the amount that it was, but. And then, Jeremy, you had a story that you were going to share as well for a client that you had assisted not too long ago.
Got to help a great family move here, also from Arkansas, the Gore family, Terry and Brittany Gore and their little boy. They moved out here, and I met them on Facebook.
Yep.
And we set a Facebook appointment, but then he wound up registering on our website. And so I just went ahead and called him just to see if I could help him out, quicker.
Yep.
And got a hold of him. We set up a Zoom meeting, and I picked out, based on their criteria, I'd picked out houses that several houses that I thought would be good fits, and we were looking through them. And he's like, "Hey man, there's this house that I saw that like I really like it a lot, and it had more land and it was a modular home. That was part of it too. Like, so it had way more land. So I looked at it with him, and he's like, "I really like that. If I could get that, like I think that's the one." Well, he's in Arkansas. Him and Brittany are in Arkansas, and I'm like, "Well, I can go there tomorrow at noon and do a Zoom meeting with you, or I can do a FaceTime." So I show up at the house, do a FaceTime meeting with him. We see the house. They love it. We write an offer. It had been on the market for a little over 60 days. Okay. And so we were able to get all their closing costs covered to make this happen.
Yeah, that's really good.
And they were really high because of it being a modular home. So we got like $12,000 in closing costs covered for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
And which that's not normal right now. It's not normal to get that much closing costs, but you can get some typically.
You can, for sure.
And then we got it under contract. They came and saw it as quickly as they could, and we closed on it. So before I ever met him in person, we actually had a house under contract.
Yeah.
But it was one he literally picked the house out.
Yep.
And then we went and saw it, and he loved it, and he got 9 acres with it too. I mean, it was a really cool property.
Yeah.
Lot of trees, deer.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, that's an awesome thing to pull off too. It's just like they're not able to see it in person with you. Never been able to even meet you.
Yeah.
Right.
But they're out of state, and they're able to do that, and then they're really happy in the end with what they get.
Yeah. To just make that possible.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, and I think you'd help me set that up, the whole Zoom thing.
Yeah.
Like that didn't happen before COVID. And now that's like a big piece of my game, and like is very helpful for my clients for us to meet, look at stuff online together, and just cover a whole lot of ground without having to go drive and see a bunch of stuff first and foremost.
Oh, yeah.
We can go do that but we can get a lot more on the same page.
You can talk through so many of those details, even if you just do like a video conference through Zoom or something like that.
Like I want white cabinets, not stained cabinets. Like, okay,
huge piece to know.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah. It really changes what house you're going to look at.
Save a lot of time. It helps you. It helps us in the searching process for people.
Yes. Yep.
We cover those details. So that's really good. Barbara and John, I was just going to mention them real quick. They gave us some birthday presents, some diapers, the baby gifts, the baby shower gifts.
Yeah. She brought that to me.
Yes,
she brought that to me at the inspection. Yeah,
that was so awesome. They gave some baby shower gifts for Lila. some diapers and some other little outfits.
Oh, nice, nice.
And so that was awesome. So awesome. Barbara and John, thank you. That was one where I had, not all of them turn out this way, but every once in a while, they had been looking for places a few months back, couldn't find exactly what they wanted. I was able to get them on a phone call on a Thursday evening. A little over 36 hours later, about a day and a half later, we had the house under contract that they wanted.
That's awesome.
So, but we were able to cover a lot of details in that first phone call. And then the next day we went and looked at 3 places. One of them they absolutely loved. Got an offer submitted, got it under contract. So
the way she told me this story was like they saw the first 2 and they were just really let down, right? And
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But wait, I've got one more for you.
Yep.
And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And you brought them into the house. And as soon as she walked into the house, especially with like where it was and how close it was to their church and all this kind of stuff.
Location was awesome for them.
They walked in this house and they like immediately fell completely in love.
Yeah. I was so happy. I was so happy to find that place for them. Yeah. So they absolutely love it. And
so they were floored by how well you did on even like finding the house for them and like bringing them there. They were just awesome. Thrilled to death. Yeah.
That's awesome. They're great folks. That's going to be scheduled to close later on this month. So very thrilled for them. We were discussing some things that might be beneficial for our past clients or people who might be interested in the housing market, considering selling their current place and looking to buy a place. And they know, maybe you're aware of the fact that in our housing market, if you own a house, it has appreciated in value greatly over the last 3 years.
Just a little bit.
So, and even will continue to increase in its value at a slower rate. Yes, but it is still increasing in value. But you're interested in how much it would actually sell for if listed for sale today. And we want to actually provide you value by giving you the data, the information for what you should anticipate your house to sell for if it were listed for sale today.
Yep.
In our current house market.
I mean, whether you've worked with us before or whether you know somebody who needs help with it and we've never talked to them before, we'll actually go pull the comps that a appraiser will look at in your neighborhood, not just kind of like a random zip code level, Zestimate or something like that. That's not really specific to your house, but pull the best data to predict what an appraiser is going to say your house is worth and what a buyer's probably going to pay for it. And we'd love to just look through that, help you get a sense of how much you're going to walk away whenever you actually go to sell, if you choose to, or if you just want to know, kind of like watching the stock market, right? Yep. If you just want to know what your value is so you know how much equity you're sitting on, like we're more than happy to share that with you.
And what's the average that people's houses have appreciated in the last few years?
Yeah, over a 2-year span in 2020, 2021, it was 32% increase.
That's Oklahoma.
That's Oklahoma.
Specific to Oklahoma.
We're slow, and that's Oklahoma.
Yep.
Right? So, again, if you have a $300,000 house at the beginning of that process, it's a whole $100,000 more by the end of that process.
So, and we think, in particular, we want to bring this up, not only because the amount that your house has increased over the last 3 years, but we're seeing a housing market that Josh even mentioned for some clients that he just helped recently. Doing a list buy, doing a contingency offer, there are many places in which that's actually on the table.
Yep.
Like if you're going to be competitive in the offer price and not asking for a bunch of concessions, but you've seen, maybe you even experienced, and you know somebody who's like they submitted a bunch of offers on houses that were contingent and none of them were getting accepted, and maybe they wrote offer after offer after offer. Well, it was because you went through a housing market where you couldn't do a contingency offer at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now it seems as if, for the most part, you can actually compete with a contingency offer. There are exceptions to this, and we can talk through those that would help people. Yep. But for the most part, we want to bring up, you can actually do list buys.
Yep.
You can actually do, I gotta get my house sold so that I can actually purchase one.
I have dealt with 5 contingency situations this spring where people had to sell their house in order to purchase. We're not able to unlink it, and still we're able to just execute that perfectly fine because the market has shifted enough to be more like a normal pace where you can actually get some of that.
Didn't have to go with an Airbnb. Didn't have to live with a family or friend. Like they
which is what we were telling people you had to do.
Oh yeah,
which is what
there was no other way to buy a house. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And we were also seeing, and to add to that too, we're also seeing people get some closing costs covered.
Yep.
So
Which, I was talking to Eileen Welty at Welty Group, and she was telling me that's something she has seen. Like, she hasn't seen a closing cost offer the last month. Like, it's been like she hasn't seen as much seller concessions. So that may be something to watch.
Yeah,
in seeing if the market shifts with that way. But
at least for the list buy folks, like if you had a hard time and you were submitting a bunch of offers and they weren't getting accepted and they were contingent, now is the time you can get back into the market. You can actually pull it off. And you might still be able to get some concessions. But the value that your own home has increased within the time frame in the last 3 years, it's probably worth looking at everything that you are paying just for your own. I'm talking about like all of your bills, and seeing, is it beneficial for you actually to do the move that is selling your place, getting the benefit of the cash out of selling your place, maybe even paying off some other debt obligations with the cash.
Sure,
But adjusting everything for your own financial picture from the benefit of appreciation that's occurred in your own home over the last 3 years. And so we want to get that data and that information to you, to your family, to any friends that you have, anybody that we can help out that way. We want to get the information to. So holler at us, message us, comment on any of these where you see a video. Send us a message or text us if you have our information. Text us. Contact us. Even on our website, you can contact us directly. And we want to be able to help you and get that information so that you know exactly what your house is worth. And you can make plans for if you want to sell your place and purchase something.
Yep. So. Now's the time because you weren't able to for a long time. And like Jeremy's saying, stuff may shift again. As hard as it is to believe, the pace of appreciation may increase again. Like, we've got probably still a long road ahead of us in the how much the interest rate will need to raise in the long term and how much appreciation we're going to have in the long term. And if that's the case, then this is the window before then you're not able to again. So
appreciate it.
Yep.
thank you.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for referring people to us. Thank you for letting us, trusting us just with the whole process of buying or selling a house. For Aaron, for myself, for Josh, for Jeremy, with Maven Real Estate. This is the Maven Show.
We love you guys. You're the best.
Thank you.
Love you all. Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching The Maven Show. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for all the latest clips and episodes. Also, comment below with what you thought was the most interesting or helpful from this video. And if you want to help us out, please like and share our posts on social media. Thanks so much.